Stonebraker, and he does stuff, yeah. Feel the hum of the wheels out there. Not perfect, but he dares to dream. Hit that subscribe, make that bell scream.
Hello. What's up, YouTube? Before we get started in the video, let me go ahead and get my Strava pulled up. Before we get rained on, because if you can see the clouds, oh, it's gonna rain. But the real question is it gonna rain on this ride? That may make it exciting, but hopefully not. Stonebraker does stuff here, back with another video, and I am on the ANDSKY S7, and I can never remember where there it is. There's my Strava. Busting out Strava strictly to see how long we've been riding. Perfect. All right, guys. So as I was mentioning just a few moments ago, it definitely is going to rain, but maybe we can get a quick ride in before the rain starts. It's actually supposed to be pretty crazy weather today. We're back into that 80-mile-per-hour wind, I think. I don't know. Maybe I read the forecast wrong, just skimming through the channels real quick. But today is Saturday, July 19th, 2025. And today's video is brought to you by, no, I'm just kidding. Let's let this car go first. But I'm on the ANDSKY, like I mentioned, or see, I did it, ANDSKY. I need to pronounce it ANDSKY. But I'm on the bike. Second video that I will have recorded on the ANDSKY. Not the second ride overall, but the second video. And during the week, I did take it out a little bit off camera, you know, just to kind of get a feel of it and stuff. And you know, I did mention that there was some issues with the front brake, and I don't necessarily think it's issues. I think it's just like a new bike, and you've got to adjust some things. So I think I've got that pretty much corrected. It still does make like a little bit of a noise, but when I was riding yesterday, I noticed it went away, and I think I've got the brakes tightened to a specific point. They're a little tighter than my right hand brakes, but I don't know. We'll deal with it. It's nothing we can't handle. You know, $729. We are at 51 miles on the bike now. So actually, I think in the last 2 days, I probably rode about 25 miles. So just kind of shows you how quickly you can accumulate miles on this. And I was just riding through town like I am right now. I didn't take it anywhere. I will definitely take it some places though. I want to get it on the cyber rack. Maybe try to go back to one of the trails that we went to, you know, a month or so ago. But that's the future, so we're going to talk about today. And again, as I kind of showed you earlier, you guys can see the clouds. Just kind of trying to see when it's going to start raining. I was going to come out here earlier. It's a little afternoon. It's 12:11 p.m. Probably should have came out maybe like an hour and a half ago. The skies were a little bluer. But, you know, I think we can get a 15-minute video in today. But conversation-wise today, I was just kind of thinking about, like, you know, you buy your e-bike, which they can be expensive, and then, you know, not everyone does it, but I have certain things that on every e-bike I just have to buy. And they're pretty cheap, but when you buy like 6 or 7 different items that are cheap, you know, it can add up pretty quick. So, like, on the ANDSKY, you know, I've got my same mirrors that I buy on all my bikes, you know, like 16, 17 bucks for both of them. It's one of the cheaper ones. The Gub phone holder, 20 some bucks. I always buy a front bag, and I really like this one. This is the first time that I've actually bought this bag. So I bought it. It was like 23, 24, something like that. And then with this one, I bought the Zoom seat post as well, which I've got to say, I never had a lot of experience with the Zoom seat post. I have never had a lot of experience with the Zoom seat post. But one of the reasons I bought it for this bike is, first off, you know, The seat that came with it was not very good, but I did have a bike very similar to this about a year ago, and I really liked the Zoom seat post that I put on that. So yeah, I had a feeling it would work out pretty good, and really impressed. Anytime I've been on the trail with this bike, and I go over the same spots I do all the time, and I'll let this old guy and his John Deere green tractor do his mowing thing. You better hurry up because it's gonna rain. But so very impressed with the Zoom seat post. All the bumps and cracks on the trail don't have very much of an impact. It really allows you to kind of go up and down a little bit. I did adjust it Wednesday night. At the bottom of the pole, you can go in and kind of adjust it. So yeah, I think I've got that figured out. So pretty comfortable. And another thing that I've done with the ANDSKY is I've noticed when you hit about 20 miles an hour, maybe a little above 20 miles an hour, it is just pure ghost pedaling. So you just move the pedals, the crank, and it's going to get you that top speed. And I didn't like that. I like, as I've talked about plenty of times on the channel, I like to ride at about like 15 to 17 miles an hour. I like that cadence because it typically allows you to not ghost pedal, but you're also not having to move your legs quick to not ghost pedal. So you can just keep it nice and steady. So on this bike, when I initially got it, I had gone in to the pedal assist levels, and I had put pedal assist 1, I bumped it up a little bit because, I mean, there's like, I think the speed they had, it was like 7 miles per hour. Like there's no way, I don't want to do that. So I bumped it up, and then yesterday I bumped it down a little bit. So I had thought I had my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pedal assist levels at a certain percentage where I would feel comfortable. So 1 was a little too high, so I dropped it back down. So pedal assist 1, I think right now I've got it to like just over 10 miles an hour, maybe 11, which is okay. Pedal assist 2, up until last night, I had it to where you're going like 17, which again is kind of where I want to be on the high end. But I had noticed that it was ghost pedaling, and I don't want to be on pedal assist 2 ghost pedaling. So to solve that, I put it down a little bit. So right now I've got the gears where pedal assist 1, you're going to be, 10, maybe 11. Pedal assist 2, you're like right at 14, 15. And then 3, I've got it to about 18. And then 4 and 5, I've just bumped it up to like, I think pedal assist 4, I got it like 85%. So you're going to go like 24, 25. And then pedal assist 5, I pretty much bumped it up to 100%. Now, I've noticed that unless I'm using the twist throttle right here on my right hand, there's no need for me to even try to pedal in pedal assist 5, too much ghost pedaling, even pedal assist 4, and even pedal assist 3. So just something to keep in mind. If you're someone that doesn't like a lot of ghost pedaling, you're definitely going to have it on this bike. But I mean, you can go into each pass level and you can adjust the speed. So that's just something to keep in mind if you're someone that maybe is looking at this bike. If you're not worried about ghost pedaling and you just want a cheap bike to, get you to here and there, and, to be able to do some exercising if you choose, you may have to do a little bit of adjustments on this bike to get to what you want it to be at. But I was mentioning a moment ago, just kind of about like, I'd been thinking about how, I've bought these bikes and stuff like that, and just how the money can add up pretty quickly. I was talking to someone a few days ago, and we were kind of talking about the Ebikes and things like that, and we got into discussion, and they're like, man, you've got a lot of money invested into these bikes. And I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, I do have quite a bit of invested, but because they're cheaper bikes. So, I could have 3 bikes around this price range, $700 to $800, which, I pretty much try to keep it under $1,000. if it's not my, my main bike, if it's not the bike that I really probably am going to keep for hopefully years and years. But I could buy 3 of these type of bikes and spend about the same as some of these other people that have, like the Velotric Nomad, the wired Freedom bikes. Of course, those bikes are a lot better than this. And they got more features, like higher speeds. You can switch between the torque and the cadence. It's got both of them. But most people that don't know e-bikes, they're probably just going to say, oh man, he's got 3, he's got 4 e-bikes. That person has 1. He's spent so much more money than that person that has 1. And that's not always the case. So if these bikes I could not afford, nor would I buy 3, 4, 5 e-bikes that were $2,000 a piece. That is not possible. I would have to get 7 jobs. I'd have to get a GoFundMe. Could you imagine that, starting a GoFundMe to recoup your e-bike costs? But it's easy to do with these bikes. So it got me to thinking, like, after that conversation, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I never would have thought that I'd be into things like this. And, I've hit that point. I'm 40 years old, so I truly think this is my midlife crisis. Some people go out and buy a Harley. Some people, have an affair with a 22-year-old woman. Some CEOs have affairs at Coldplay concerts with the head of the HR. I'm assuming that's a midlife crisis. Not me. Some people get tattoos, shave their head, start listening to indie rock. Yeah, I've not done any of that. I got 1 tattoo. I quit listening to indie rock like 5 years ago, and I'm not going to shave my head just yet. One day when it's gone, I'll shave it, I guarantee. But I think this is my midlife crisis. And I was looking at just today, like after that conversation, and after, some things that I had bought recently, and like, it's so expensive. Even if you buy the cheap e-bikes, I don't need all this stuff, but like, to me, this is what makes the e-bike enjoyable. I love having my phone here. I can listen to music. I love having a nice phone holder. I got to have the mirrors, the bags. To me, like, you've got to have a bag or something, and these are absolutely perfect. And then small things like buying the cables. Each of my bikes, inside of my bag, I've got like a $40 or $50 power bank, so you can see it charges. So, you buy 4 of those, that's $200. But like, to me, that's what makes it exciting, and that's what makes me enjoy riding these e-bikes. And I was just thinking about that, and like, people can kind of like get confused though, because again, and now it's going to rain, so we may have to cut this video shorter than what I wanted to. But I can go out and I can buy 3 cheaper e-bikes and ride them every now and then. If you're someone that's buying an e-bike and it's going to be your main mode of transportation, or you're going to ride it 20 miles every day, maybe it's better for you to buy a higher brand. But like, if you're like me and you go out and you want to ride them, switch it up a little bit and make some videos and just ride around town, we'll see how how long they last. But people get confused by that. They think that because you've got 4 e-bikes, you've spent money on them, but they kind of think like, oh my god, well, no, these 4 e-bikes may cost as much as someone that has 1 nicer branded e-bike. So just kind of my conversation. And I went in I got a couple totes where I keep a lot of my e-bike stuff. I keep a lot of my like tools, my wrenches, my Allen wrenches, and I've got extra stuff. I've got extra pedals that either I've bought or that have come with the bike and I've not used. I always have extra mirrors. I've got these little things I keep everything in, and probably showing that video right now. And even things like that. Those things add up pretty quickly, and they can accumulate pretty quickly. I didn't realize I had so many pedals. Just my thoughts here. And it is definitely sprinkling a little bit harder. I'm going to see if I can make sure I clean the GoPro. I don't have that little drop of rain that always seems to be on it. So, but I hope you guys are enjoying your Saturday. Hopefully you have a little bit weather-wise, greater than what it looks like we're gonna have today. If it gets real windy and super bad, you know, if you see my videos, I keep my bikes in my carport, and if it rains a little bit, it's okay, but there's a few leaky spots on the roof, and if it gets really windy, sometimes the rain comes in there, so, and then if we get 80-mile-per-hour winds, I don't like just having my bikes there. So if it gets too bad, I will pack them up, take them to my mom's garage. You know, always protect your goods. That should be like a life motto, protect your goods. But hopefully it doesn't come to that, and we will see. And there's really something that I want to say, and I don't know if I should say it because I kind of want to just like have it pop out there. But if you watch my previous video when I bought this, I had mentioned about getting a refund from a bike I bought that is in a shop right now. And I kind of was like, you know, I don't know what I should do with this refund. So I will just say that I have used that refund, and I have used it to continue my midlife addiction to e-bikes. So bought another bike. And there it is. I said it. I had planned on just popping out a video like a surprise pregnancy and just being like, here you guys go. But last Saturday, I did buy a new e-bike. It was supposed to be delayed because I guess it was a pre-order e-bike. But I called them, and I thought that the shipments were supposed to go out the end of July. So I thought I would probably get it the first week of August. You know, I'm in no hurry or anything, and yeah, the rain is really coming down right now. So, in the fairness of not breaking an e-bike and getting a debilitating cold where I'm on my deathbed for 7 weeks, we're gonna turn around and head back. But yeah, so a new e-bike is on the way. It is a 26 by 4-inch tire e-bike. I'm replacing the Favato. It is a cadence sensor, and it was on pre-order. So some people that ordered it before a certain day, they got their bikes, and my bike was supposed to be delivered the end of July. I will say though that I'm not too happy with their customer service. I had questions on the bike, sent an email 5 days later, no response. Their telephone number, you just have to leave voicemails. You go to their Facebook page and they can comment on people's post about how much they love the bike, but they will not comment on Everyday Joe's posts like myself with regular questions. But they did get back with me, and I kind of called their bluff. I told them that, you know, she said, well, we're hoping the bikes get sent out at the end of July. We're hoping. So I told the lady, I'm like, okay, are you hoping or are you promising? Because if my bike is not going to be on the next shipments, the next delivery of bikes you get, you know, who knows when I'll get it. It may be a month and a half, so I don't want to wait a month and a half. You know, we'll be mid-August by that point. So I told them that if she couldn't promise that my bike would be one of the bikes that gets shipped out at the end of July, I did let her know that I was going to cancel my order. Lo and behold, once I said that, my bike was magically shipped out the next day. So I got confirmation. You know what, it's raining. Let's bump it up to pedal accessory because it's still sprinkling a little bit harder. But I did get confirmation. I got the FedEx email, so my new bike will be here Wednesday. And like I said, it is a cadence sensor, 26 by 4-inch e-bike. Trying to think if there's anything like, I don't want to give it away, but it is a bike company that I've heard of, and I wasn't a fan of their first bike, so this is like the next version of their original bike. There's a step through and a step over, and originally I wanted to step over because I haven't had a step over since I've had the mock wheel, but you know, they're bigger bikes and they're a pain in the butt to get off and on, so I got another step through. Not disappointed. Quite a few collars to choose from, which was nice. So I did go with a collar of bike that I guess I can say I've never had. I've had a bike that was like the shade of the collar, but not exactly this. So expect a video on that probably Thursday, or more than likely probably Friday. It is a dual suspension, so that is one thing I can say. And I think that's really everything else is pretty basic. And I will say though that it was under $1,000. So if you guys want to put on your detective hats, look for a 26 by 4-inch e-bike that is in pre-order that has a dual suspension. Yeah, do your guys', if you want to do some detective work, go ahead. Unfortunately, God, Mother Nature, and probably Father Time has decided that this e-bike ride is not going to be very long, but thank you guys for spending your time helping me waste my time. Just kind of, letting you guys know that e-bikes can be an addiction. E-bikes can be a midlife crisis, and I am definitely in the mix of that. So I will see you in the next one.
A few moments later.